Vikash Kumar Jain of CLSA joins us. Vikash, good morning. Market expectations from the budget are very low. Can the budget surprise positively and in what way?
I have this proprietary investor sentiment gauge, and you're right. It was very close to hitting extreme bearish sentiment just last week, and that is which tells us that yes, sentiment, expectations are very low going into this budget. Can it really surprise? Yes. What will count as a surprise when expectations are so low is a discussion point. But can it really surprise in terms of being a significantly positive budget from the way the market looks at things, where the market at times is very impatient. It wants things to happen immediately. Honestly, I don't think that's how the government is looking at things. Maybe rightly so also. They would want to focus on a slightly more longer term approach to things. And that is where I believe it may not be able to surprise, kind of throw a very big surprise in a positive sense.
The big question, Vikash, good morning, is when FPIs will return, right? I think that's the number one question people are asking. And what will it take for them to return? Do you think easing, leveling off equity taxation, especially from an FPI point of view, will do it? Do you think we will see it? Your thoughts?
Let's take a step back on what are the things that we look for in a budget. There will be three, four broad ways in which we look into what the budget. First is, what is the longer term statement that the government is trying to make? Where would it lead India into in terms of Capex, areas where that it wants to focus on? I think the budget needs to be more clear on that, on those answers, thinking about it more on a structural basis, because globally we are in the midst of this argument or this debate whether AI could be the most important technology we've ever seen, and how is India kind of dealing with that? I think that's one answer that we need to seek. Plus, also, where are we heading into in terms of, you asked about, taxation. I think it's not just taxation. It's basically how do we get sustainable higher levels of growth. Most countries in the world in their history have only got sustainable high level of growth by getting better access to foreign markets. When I say access to foreign markets, it's not just by being able to export, but also the fact that getting foreign capital to fund that growth and to generate that employment, to give that opportunity, to allow that profitability to kind of flow into our country is also something which is relevant. That is through the route of FDI as well as FPI. So can the government really further make a statement to make our ability to attract foreign markets and foreign inflows to fund our growth is something which will be watched out for. Specific questions on taxation, yes, I think this keeps coming up every time, and India has a different taxation than many other countries in terms of foreign investors investing into the market. And whether we can see a change, honestly, it's very tough to predict that, but that's been a demand for a while. And there are several complicated problems which foreign investors face in terms of NAV adjustments, in terms of when it is short term, when it becomes long term, because they have to report pre-tax, post-tax NAVs, have several other complications which are there, which makes it even more difficult. So it doesn't really help attracting long-term capital from outside, definitely. So it's still to be watched. I'm not great at guessing on this one, but this has been a demand for a while now.
Okay, well, there are more shots coming in of the finance minister entering Kartavya Bhavan with her entire team, finance secretary as well as revenue secretary, expenditure secretary, the CEAs just behind there, and of course the new DEA secretary. There's a lady there. So the entire team is here, and this is that Bahi Khata in which she carries the budget, the laptop. So all those in place. Sometime back we used to have a briefcase. Yeah. Now we have the Bahi Katha and a lovely sari. Oh, what a pretty sari that is. Actually, red and black, something like mine, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully there's a bit of a surprise in there as well.
Positive, yes.
Yeah, positive surprise. Okay, we'll keep getting you visuals, and we'll get you the latest from there. For the time being, let's go back to our chat we're having with Vikash. Vikash, given the current geopolitical situation that we're seeing, the hope is that defense spend will go up. You think so?
Superb.
See, I prefer to answer a lot of these things by can, whether can or should is actually what is happening. And in fact, if we were to go into specific expectations for this budget from what I've been hearing from clients, defense capex seeing a reasonable growth of mid-teens is clearly something which people are gunning for. Defense stocks have been in action on a positive basis going into the budget, so that's something which will definitely be watched out very closely. The other thing which gets talked about is in terms of funding sources, the government will want to be focused on bringing down fiscal deficit further. They would want to look at more funding sources and maybe raising taxes for petroleum products, for auto fuels is the other expectation which the market is being talking about. So in terms of specific expectations, those are the two most popular ones that we've heard. So defense is pretty much something which kind of is part of it. Given the current geopolitical global setup, yes, I mean it's something which it is rightly to expect something like that that it should happen in terms of a significant growth.
Okay. Vikas, thanks a lot for that. We'll leave it at that. And I take everything on board that you have said, that, they may look for more funding sources. So additional cess on petroleum products, all that could be par for the course. As well, keeping an eye on defense. Vikas just said 15%, mid-teens. But I have heard people 20 to 25 higher on defense. But let's go to the experts.